Welcome to a new video in my home automation series, and today I'm going to show you an early review of the NSPanel Pro from Sonoff. And I'm saying early review because this model is available for pre-order at the moment, and I'm thinking that probably, by the time you get this, there are going to be quite a few improvements in this model, because I'm finding a couple of issues with this on the software side. So I'm not sure how much I should really be stressing this, how many of these are going to be fixed by the time it gets released. And Nila in the Vergecast always says that you shouldn't buy something with a promise of what it would do in the future. You should really buy it for what it does at the moment. But I'm not sure if it's going to be an anticipated product or not. But I wanted to give you my opinion and probably walk through the different features so you have an idea of the, if this is something for you that you are looking for or not. I have done an unboxing of this in a previous video, and since it's now officially in pre-order, I'm supposed to talk about the actual features. So I've talked about the the outside and the dimensions and all the other things on the unit. So I really want to focus on the screens and what you are getting here. And in order to quickly summarize what it does, I want to quickly go through the features, and I'm going to spend a little bit more time on each of these features separately. So a couple of things, very similar to the existing NSPanel. It has a main screen which shows the weather, the date, the weather, the time and the date, and some background images, and we have a couple of buttons here which do not control any output because there is no output here. We also have a screen where you can control other devices as well. And if I flick the other way, this is a screen where you can control manual scenes. And there is a fourth screen as well, where you can control a thermostat. So these are the main four screens that you get. And on the main screen, what is new here, you also have a button where you can activate a camera. I'm going to talk about the various things. So for example, this is the early Sonoff camera, which is set up in my garage, and I can see the live feed, and I can turn the two-way audio on so I can talk to the person on the other side. And there is a speaker here, so I can also hear what the other person says on the camera. And as you can see here, there is a possibility to set up other cameras as well as not only Sonoff cameras. And there is also a security feature. So you can use it as a home security device. You can set it into 3 different modes. And of course, other device would be connected to it. So probably you can see here a Zigbee Sonoff door sensor. So this device also works as a Zigbee hub, so you can pair other devices to it. So I think these are the main features. Okay, let me just quickly go through this pre-order site at the moment. So this only opened on the 8th of August, and you can see all the stuff here. Maybe I should scroll back to the first page. Anyway, there's a lot of information here, so maybe you want to look at it. What I can tell from the beginning is that there are 2 different versions available from the NSPanel. You can see this dim gray, and also there is a white version, so the bezel is white. I think probably that suits better with white walls, or but the other thing is that all of the other switches are usually the gray ones. I don't know if the white one is available. So you can see the main specs here. So it's a almost a 4-inch touchscreen with full colors, two-way audio, and it has Zigbee and a Cortex processor. Oh, this is scrolling way too fast. And 2 gigs of RAM. So it's a small Android device, and you can see it says here that it has light sensor and a microphone, and then the speaker is down there. Okay, and I've already mentioned in the previous video, it doesn't do any outputs, so you just wire the mains to the 2 terminal, and that's it, and then it's going to be happy. And the dimensions are same as the size 60 dimensions of the M5 switch, and also it is the same size as the a previous NSPanel. And if you want it on the desk, you can also purchase these stands for this, which is it's here. It's the desk enclosure for the NSPanel Pro. And to be honest, I'm using this on my stand since I got it because, well, that's an easy way for me to interact with it. And well, finally, it was $80. It looks like the normal price is going to be $120, but then the first X amount have already been ordered, so now they have increased the price to $90 USD, and you can see the prices for all the other things. You can also buy a Zigbee bundle if you want to use it as a security device. And I think by this I've already gone through most of the functions. Probably the other thing I would mention, which is not really mentioned on the box or in the app anywhere, is this logo. So it looks like that it is going to be Matter compatible whenever Matter is finally finalized. So I think that's an interesting and probably a very forward-looking way of sort of releasing this device and maybe and making it available or compatible with all the Matter devices that are hopefully coming in the future, hopefully sooner than later. And oh, by the way, so I don't have any of these the color examples. I've mentioned that it can control some of the lights and also some of the LED strips. You can see the user interface here, so it does allow you to control color and brightness as well. But then it is also, I think, an Android device, well, pretty much like an Android device. Probably it's running some sort of version of Android with a very custom UI, because if I go this way, if I do this gesture, you can have a few more things here. So you can, within Add Device, you can pair other Zigbee devices. You can see that. And I've used this functionality to add this. I've also added a motion sensor, and this motion sensor doesn't happen to be a Sonoff motion sensor because my Sonoff Zigbee motion sensor ran out of batteries and it's using that big battery, which it is very easy to, very difficult to get. So I just ended up using a different Zigbee motion sensor. We also have a thing where you get notifications. So these are the notifications that I got from the various Zigbee devices. I also have settings, so I can set the clock and I can also set up a timer. So, you can set up a timer for, let's say, 7 minutes and you start it, and then it will do some sort of ringtone. So of course, because this device would be at your home, your kitchen, you can use these other functions as well. And you also have the option to set the clock here. And oh, sorry, not clock, the alarms. Yeah, I think it should be really called alarms. So you can also use it as an alarm clock. So again, if you have it on the bedside table or close to your bed, yeah, it will be great for using it as an alarm. As I said, it has a speaker, so you can it will play audio, and probably by the time we get there, we will see this notification. We have an option for themes, and you can basically change the background picture. There are a couple of predefined pictures here, and also I've seen one of the videos that there is an option to upload new pictures, but I haven't found the functionality for that. And there is also a special background which changes based on the main weather icon. So you either get this big sun or thunder or snowflakes or clouds. So that's that. You can add cameras as well. I'm going to talk about the cameras later. And you can also go into the settings where you have a couple of other things. So this is where you set up your Wi-Fi network, you add your eWeLink account. This is where you set your time zone. And even though I'm in Central Europe, I had to select UTC +2 because it is summertime, so I don't think it's handling the summertime and the wintertime correctly. So I might need to come back here and then change the time zone whenever we transition from summertime to wintertime. I can also change the weather, so I can select the city and the unit. And to be honest, I have some issues with this weather update. Well, either though I set the weather here, sometimes it just forget and wouldn't update the weather, and I have to come here, set the city again, and it starts working. So I think there is a bug there as well. And yeah, options for display, so you can set the background light or set it to automatic and an auto lock. And by the way, since we are talking about display, there is a small sensor here, and I think this is some sort of proximity sensor because, well, proximity and light sensor, because I do notice that this screen comes back on automatically even without touching it. So I think there is some proximity sensor. It doesn't work perfectly all the time. And also you might have noticed that sometimes I need to press things twice because it doesn't really register. So yeah, I mean, it is not definitely not running the latest processors, and it is not as snappy as a pretty expensive phone, but we will go to the listing soon. It is definitely not priced as an expensive phone either, so I think there is probably some balance between in performance and also price. You have a couple of options to select different languages. So these are the languages that are available at the moment. You also have the volume to control the volumes, the volume or the speaker here. I said back. And then finally you have about, which sometimes you get like a red light here if there is an OS version update. I think the app version installs automatically, but since I got this, I also had an OS version update, and you also have, reset and reboot. And by the way, when I change if I'm here in the weather and I want to search for a different location, you see this keyboard. This is like a typical Android keyboard, so I think this is why I said it's probably running some sort of Android operating system. So that's what you have in the settings, and that's pretty much it. You are back on the main screen. And I also wanted to show you how it looks like in the eWeLink application. So you don't pair this device normally as you would pair it with with any other device that you add a new device, but you set up your eWeLink account on the screen that we have seen before, and then the new device appears on your screen. So again, you have devices here. So here you can control all the devices that should be available on the screen. And if I slowly scroll through these, you can see the devices that are supported at the moment and things that are not supported. So you can see that, for example, the L2 strip is not supported, but the L1 strip is, and the bulb is supported. So you can control like colors and brightness as well, but not for all the different, but not for every single device. And yeah, some of the older bulbs and the fun is not supported, but I think by and large, most of the devices that Sonoff has in the lineup is supported at the moment. So you can configure these. On the scenes, you can configure all the manual scenes that should be selected. And again, you see I've selected the movie mode and the quick watering, but if I go to this screen, sorry, I have to use two fingers. I have to hold it as well. It says that I should go to the eWeLink application and set it up, and then it will get synchronized here. I pretty much created this setup about, I don't know, like a week ago, and it still haven't synchronized. So I'm not sure what's going on here. And then we have this gateway, and that's the various security model, and it shows all the devices that are connected. So for some reason, it's only connecting to this motion sensor. It is not connecting to this one, but to be honest, I have a couple of Zigbee networks at home, and I'm always switching devices from one to another. So I think probably what is happening is that this got switched off, and my other Zigbee network probably captured this device again. So this is why I lost it. And finally, I have a thermostat option here, which I swear this didn't exist about a day ago. So you can configure thermostat. So it looks like that you can link an existing thermostat to the NSPanel Pro, and it works pretty much like how it works in the original NS panel. So basically you set what is the temperature, whether the thermostat is a heating or a cooling thermostat, and what is the device that it's going to control. And of course now, oh, that's our timer notification. Okay, thank you, I don't want to use it again. So yeah, and now the thermostat is working. I swear it wasn't working yesterday. So probably there was a software update or firmware update yesterday evening. So yeah, you can, change the set temperature, and then you can change it to manual and auto, and or enable and disable the whole thing. Oh, sorry, enable. Yeah, it's only enabled now. It also shows you temperature and the humidity, and you can lower it. So, and now this is physically connected to my TH10. And if you remember from this screenshot, it was showing TH10, it wasn't showing the new TH Elite, so maybe that is not supported yet. And you can create multiple thermostats, so if I have more, then you could see, you can switch them here. So you can maybe create a thermostat for every single room, and then you can control all of the rooms from a single NSPanel Pro, just switch between the thermostats. So that's new, so that's nice. Do I have something here? Yeah, so that works off the TH10. And I do have TH Elite and some of the other devices, but I can only show TH10 at the moment. And yeah, so that's the thermostat function. New stuff, haven't seen before. So that's nice. And of course you have a couple of settings here, so you can change the name, the location, the security mode. So yeah. So let me go through some of the features now. So the first thing that I want to do is to control devices. I don't think it's going to be, very similar, well, very dissimilar from the original NSPanel. I mean, you can see all the devices here, and you can just control the outputs or turn them all of them off. And yeah, and you see the other one as well. So of course, if you have multi-channel ones, that you have multiple buttons, and if you have a single channel device, you have a single button. And for other devices, for example the TH10, you can see temperature and humidity as well. I don't think that I have the POW here. And of course, if you have a single sorry, I don't have all of these devices turned on. So if I have a single output device, then you can just switch it from here as well. And for the strip, you would have options to change the color and the brightness as well. But that's how pretty much the look and feel was on the original NSPanel. Of course, the difference here is that you have a lot more, because previously you only had, I think, 8. And here you can have a lot more, which is good because, well, there is a lot of screen here. You can control all your devices, but it also takes a lot of time to scroll through them. So I think reality probably you want to restrict it to maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 devices. So you can have them on like 2 or 3 screens, maybe 8 devices, and then you have to just scroll up for the top 3 and the bottom 3. Otherwise, it's probably just going to be too much. So these are the devices. I don't think I have to talk too much about these because, they are pretty much self-explanatory. So next, I think I can talk about the cameras. So the easiest way to look at this is, well, the easiest one to cover is the Sonoff camera. So I've already talked about this. You don't have to do anything. If the camera is connected, if it's set up, it will automatically appear because it would know that this is a Sonoff camera. So there's that. If you have multiple cameras, well, in my case, I have actually one more camera because I'm also using this application which turns the mobile phone into a camera. So that appears as well, but that's turned off at the moment. So you can't control which cameras you're going to see here. So if you have a lot, then it will show the first 3, and then you have to click on more, which basically just takes you this screen. So maybe there could be more customizability here. Maybe you will only want to look at one camera, so that should launch when you click here. But I guess maybe that could be done in the future. But if I show you another example, this is one of my eWeLink cameras, and I've just set this up as an RTSP stream. So you just have to provide the URL and it can read it. The only thing I've done is I selected the sub stream, so it's not the full HD stream. So it should be, easier on this device. And actually, this is one of the other bugs that I noticed, that when I tried this for the first time, it was a live feed, but now it's just a single image. It doesn't change. So hopefully they will fix this one in the future. And the other thing you can do is you can also create a link to an image and it would just keep updating this image. And this image is actually an ESP32 cam, which is looking at my 3D printer. So if I put my hand here, no, I can't see this updating properly. And I don't know why it is flickering, but this is one other way of getting a camera feed onto the NSPanel Pro. But again, the the Sonoff cameras are so cheap, so I think it's just easier if you buy the new slim model. It's small, two-way audio. Well, I mean, of course, it's going to be more expensive than the ESP32 cam, but it's still fairly cheap. So these were all the options in the camera, and then we head over to the alarm. So I've already shown you how you can enable the alarm, and quickly I'm going to show you how you can set it up in the app. So this is the one thing that the setup is in the application, is you go here into your settings. I don't understand why we have the device scenes, gateway, and the thermostat here. Sorry, no, you can go into gateway, and then that's basically the alarm screen. Maybe this should be called alarm screen, because I don't think connecting a Zigbee light bulb here would make any sense. I don't think maybe the device would be able to control that. I haven't tested that. But anyway, this is where you set up your alarm system. So at the moment you can see that there is one device connected. By the way, if you want to add more Zigbee devices, you can start the pairing from here as well. But let me leave this. And then what you can do here is you have the 3 different modes. So you can have only 3 different modes: home, away, and sleep. And you can configure each of these. By the way, you can rename them if you want to give it a different name. And what you can do here is you can specify which Zigbee device should trigger the alarm. So here what I've specified is if I'm in away mode, and then if actually this was my door sensor. So if I'm on away mode and this door sensor senses that the door got opened or the window got opened, then it should do the alarm. And then you can specify what beeps to choose, and whether it should alarm only for 10 seconds or keep, the audio should keep playing. And you can do this for the other as well. So, maybe in the sleep mode, you don't want this door sensor to activate the alarm. You only want the motion sensor, or the other way around. So I guess you get the idea. And then you can just select the mode. So I think you can select the away mode, and it gives you this car alarm sound. And now it is armed. And if it detects motion, I think it's not this, but the motion sensor is here. The motion sensor wakes up and then it detects motion. It will show you a screen which says it's alarmed, and it will sound the siren. It's not awfully loud, like this. So this is set at 50% audio. You can crank it up to 100%. It's not going to be as loud as a siren. And I've also noticed that this particular screen is not really responsive, so I have to click on back a couple of times. But that's how the alarm works. It's not going to substitute a proper home burglar alarm, but I think if you want to have some special alarms as, I don't know, maybe the basements or an outhouse, which is not connected to the main house alarm, but this works just great. And of course you get the notification on your phone as well. And then you can just disarm it, and now it's disarmed. It's not going to listen to any of the alarms coming from the Zigbee devices. So I think this is, it's working okay. There could be an edge case where you want to use this maybe besides your existing house alarm. If you don't want to use this, unfortunately, I couldn't find any way to disable this button or replace it with something else. So I think it would be great maybe in the future to have some configuration ability to change these. So if you don't have a camera, if you don't have an alarm system, maybe you can put 2 dedicated devices here, some light switches, something like that. Or if you don't want to use the security system, maybe just have 2 cameras, and then they would automatically come on when you click on the left camera and the right camera. So that could be great. By the way, you can see now that the NSPanel just stopped showing me the weather details. And if I would power cycle this device, it would be the same. So I have no idea what is going on here, but yeah, it just stopped showing me the weather. So that's one thing. I still don't see the manual scenes, even though we have clearly seen in the app that I've selected 2 of my manual scenes to be shown here. But at least the thermostat is working, so that's nice. I quite like that. One other thing that I would say is, as you can see, well, I don't think you can see. I mentioned it in a previous video, and I've also mentioned that there is some sensors in the top. There are 2 holes here which you can't really see. Maybe you can. So those are microphone holes, which is used in the used for the two-way audio, and there is also some speaker grills down here. And one of the things that I've was mentioned in the email from IT is they are planning to implement a two-way audio function between NSPanel Pros. So more like an intercom within your house. And actually that would be something that I would be really interested in, because I was thinking to implement something like that, as opposed to like shouting between, you know, downstairs and upstairs in our house. If that would work easily, I think that would be one reason for me just to buy like 4 or 5 of these NS panels and then put them into each of our house, because yeah, that would be a really easy way for us to tell that, okay, the dinner is ready or something similar. I mean, I know you can do like broadcast with Google Home or Amazon Alexa, so that could be the second option. But to be honest, I quite like this user interface, like this background screen and the, you know, the time and the date and the fact, I think this is, I mean, this feature is, I think this feature is great. I mean, I've worked with eWeLink. I have many of these cameras, but having a small screen which can load a feed that easily, I think, you know, and each of the IP camera makers should have at least one of these devices. I mean, of course, you can just have any other tablet, but it is such a nice and easy integration into this NS panel. And of course, since they have the cameras, it was it just made sense. So I think that is great. That's something that I really, really like. If you are interested in this product, I'm going to leave purchasing links in the video description, or purchasing links to the pre-order site. But I think that will be all for today. Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you in the next video.